Good morning, guys, and welcome back to Witches of the Moon. I am your Wednesday host, Houston. I will be subbing for Erin for a while. Um, Last week, her iPad kind of crashed on her, and that's what she uses to upload her videos. Um, so until she gets a new iPad or a new computer, I will be subbing for her. Um, She did get internet fixed, but everything that, like her phone and her iPad, I believe, she said that it crashed. System, some software problems or something like that. But this week we are talking about witching on a budget, which is a very cool topic. I watched Rhiannon's and Ava's video, and they had a lot of cool and interesting things to say. Today I wanted to give my twist and my perspective on the topic. Um, And for me, witching on a budget is something that I do now more so than I did when I first started my practice. When I first started my practice, I felt like I had to, like Rhiannon said, I had to have everything, books, the altar tools, the whole altar setup with statues and everything. And now it's really come down to that I'm only buying, I don't really buy any altar supplies other than candles and incense. Um, and maybe oils if I don't make them. Like if it's a specialty oil that I want, I'll get it. But I usually don't buy altar supplies where it comes in like the tools and things like that because I have so many, or I just use myself, which is another thing I wanted to talk about. Um, there are what I have learned and what I like to do is over the years, especially with me getting a library of books. I have a ton of books, but I usually don't pay full price for my books, just because I get them used on Amazon, and I can buy a book anywhere between a penny to $17. You know, it just depends on what the book is and how popular it is. Um, but yeah, I've gotten tons of books from Amazon for a penny and $3.99 shipping. So it was like $4 altogether, and you have a brand new book for $4. You can't really beat that. Used books to me, um, my manager is funny about used books. She said she has to have a new book, and I just don't. I can't grasp why. I mean, it doesn't bother me that they maybe written things on the side or things underlined or highlighted in the book. I mean, that means that there's someone else out there who found this book interesting and wanted to take personal notes, and I think it's kind of part of the book's character. But just my opinion. Excuse me. Um, Now, as for um, another thing that I wanted to bring up before I bring up my main topic was finding in finding different ways to make incense blends cheaply. Um, Instead of using, um, you can always find substitutions for the herbs that maybe a pre-made incense asks for. Like if you're in a book and it tells you how to make an incense for a spell, for whatever reason. And there's certain things in there like you don't have that you can't come across. They're pretty expensive. Um, Look for substitutions, and you can find your substitutions in any herb book. You can look online. Just look up the properties and type in to protection herbs, and it'll pop up with a list of herbs on Google, or healing or love or psychic protection, things like that. It'll um, pop up with a list of things like that if you type that in on Google, with different herbs that you can substitute that one herb that's probably expensive or you just can't find um, anywhere near you. And also learn, I like what Ava said, learn the herbs in your kitchen. learn the herbs that you cook with. Those are very powerful and very useful when making your own incense blends or making oils to dress candles or anoint yourself. I have lately learned that making oils and using olive oil instead of like grapeseed oil or almond oil because it's less expensive. Even though it does have an aroma, the herbs that I use overpower the aroma, and I still get to use the oil. It's very nice. It's very cool. So that's something to think about. You don't have to go out and buy the expensive oils. I mean, you can. I'm not saying you don't do it. I'm saying you don't have to. You can use what you have already at home and already available to you. Um, what else? All right. Well, my main topic of today's discussion was about altar tools and witching on a budget. Um, in the pagan path, the altar tools are just a focal point to, in some traditions, are just a focal point to focus energy or awareness of a particular element into your magic or ritual. And one thing I wanted to address is the most important altar tool or tool in the craft is yourself. You don't need a fancy athame. You don't need, a wand, a pinnacle, or chalice. You have all the representations in yourself. I mean, it's good to have those on your altar. It's good to have the physical and visual representations of the elements. But if you can't find them, or you don't have the money to buy them, or possibly you live with your parents still, or the people you live with aren't really open-minded, you can create these things very cheaply and very easily. Um, Now, as for the athame, you could use a butter knife or a kitchen knife or something like that along the lines. It doesn't have to be a wooden handle. It can just be regular metal or what have you. You can go to your local thrift stores and look for silverware and use something out of that. Be something totally different than what you use, so they can't say, or people can't say that you took the butter knife and doing weird things with it. You have your own kind of thing hidden away. I know I'm just rambling this morning, but bear with me. Now, as for the chalice, you could use any cup. You can use your favorite coffee mug. You can use any kind of cup you find that calls to you. It doesn't have to be this expensive glass chalice. My chalice on my altar is I actually don't use my chalice. I have one that a friend gave me, and it's made out of pewter, but I don't use it because the pewter's flaking off, and I don't want that in my wine or whatever I use for an offering. So I use either a shot glass that I've had as a small chalice, or I have a wine goblet that I use as well. So, and now for a wand, you can get creative, and you can make. There's tutorials here on YouTube how to make the Harry Potter style wands out of like chopsticks and hot glue and spray paint. You can make something like that. You can find a stick out in the woods and shave it down, sand it down, lacquer it, and tie ribbons on it, and carve runes or whatever. You can make your own stuff instead of buying it. Um, that in and of itself is a witch on a budget, using things at hand or of the land instead of going out and buying something expensive. Now, when it comes to the pinnacle, you can easily draw it on a piece of paper, and that can be part of your pinnacle on your altar. And depending on what you want to work, it can be a colored piece of paper. That's what I did when I didn't have a pinnacle. I drew it on a piece of paper and had everything that it was supposed to be charged on a pinnacle. I had it laid on a piece of paper, and it did its job. It's very magical what you can do with the simplest of things. So I think with that being said, I am going to end this video. Other than that, I think everything else was talked about. I just want to talk about um, you being your main tool and finding your tools pretty cheaply, or even making them. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please put them down below. I will be checking this video throughout the week and answering you guys' questions. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and until we meet again, many blessings.